Welcome back, scholars. Welcome to the Kemet Maasai Academy and our motivation session. Student motivation. So this morning I'm continuing the reading from the Student's Master Plan, and the title of this passage that we're featuring in this video is Your Occupation is Student, What are your duties? Your occupation is student, what are your duties? From time to time you may have had to fill out forms and saw that there was a line for occupation. The majority of teenagers and even young adults have never been gainfully employed in a job in their lives. So naturally they wonder, what is this occupation slot all about? The fact is so obvious that it has been overlooked. Your occupation is student. You are employed as a student from the day you are born. Your status only becomes official when you enter kindergarten. Your job description is learn, learn, learn as much as you can and do your best to retain it, expound upon it, and apply it. In the beginning, your work hours are ridiculously flexible, even including nap time. As you get older, your work hours become more stringent, your workload more structured, and your supervisors more stern. Nap time is relegated to mainly night time. Still, the incentives are good. You are essentially on a full scholarship, courtesy of your parents, and perhaps others, including food and board, uniforms, books, and stationery, and in some cases, toys. All you are required to do is to turn up for work early and learn, learn, learn. We are all students for life, but this is the time you get to be a student only. Nothing else is required of you at this time. No utility bills, no mortgage, no car loans, no bailiffs, no family meals to plan, no board meetings to attend, only you, your books, and what you make of them. So, use this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to launch yourself forward so that when you cease being a student only and you're in your place in the real, quote-unquote, real professions of life, you are adequately prepared. Alright, so we're talking about sometimes you're filling out forms and there's a slot for occupation and you're saying, but I've never been employed at a job, so what am I going to put for occupation? Well, you are a student. That is your occupation, and that actually is what you should put on that line. The occupation line, you should put student. That is your job at this time. We're all students of life, as the passage said, and we're all students for life. So for as long as you live, you should consider yourself as being a student, in that you are constantly learning. It might not always be book learning, as we say, academic stuff, but there's also something called mother wit. There's something called the University of Hard Knocks, the things that you learn in life, the lessons that you learn in life that you're going to carry over and use that to shape your experience and your attitude towards life and people, generally how you live. There's ancestral knowledge that is passed down to us, right, that we have access to. So all of that, and your everyday experiences as you go through life. So we are all students of life and all students for life. But as the passage says, now is the time that you get to be a student only. Now is the time that you can focus on being just a student. And you don't have the responsibilities that some adult students have. You have adults who, whether they're continuing their studies, they have always been, going from one institution to the next, from high school to college, one degree, furthering their education with higher and higher degrees. And you have adults who left high school and for quite a while was not involved in any academic activity, but they see the need now because the world is becoming a smaller place, figuratively, and very competitive, and they want to stay on the cutting edge. They want to remain as competitive as they can be. So they're going back to school. But here what? These adults have to be juggling. They have to be juggling their adult responsibilities in addition to their academic responsibilities, the student responsibilities. They are adult students. Some of them are married. Some of them are in committed relationships, have children, have bills to pay, have jobs. Some adult students, or I would say most adult students, have to have a job in order to even pay their way through school, as well as to take care of their children, take care of their rent or the mortgage or the electric bill, water bill, phone bill, cable bill, food, transportation, clothes, all of these things. Now you as a child student, full-time student, you don't have to think about those things. Those are taken care of by your parents or your other caregivers. You don't have to think about paying rent. You don't have to think about buying even your clothes or your food. You are given all these things. You have no overhead costs. You have no overhead costs. You're pretty much on a full-time scholarship because all your needs are taken care of. We know there are children who, in the wider world or even in our smaller community, there are children who have no one to care for them and they wish they could be at school and they can't be. They have to be taking on adults' responsibilities just to keep themselves alive. We have students like that. We have children like that who wish they could go to school and they just cannot. They wish even one day out of the week that they could have the opportunity to sit in a classroom on a chair with a book and a pencil. Some children have not even that. Right? Now you have the opportunity and you have the support system. You get your uniforms, you get your regular clothes to wear, you get your books, your other stationery, you get your bag, you're taken to school or you're given money to get to school, or you're all these things are provided. So now you just have to focus on your lessons and don't take on things that adults are supposed to take on. You don't take on relationships, intimate relationships, because it takes a toll on your studies because you have to be juggling the emotional baggage and other baggage that can come with that, and it can actually derail your life. So you have to drop out of school. Some children take that on and end up having to their education is interrupted because they take on these things onto themselves that they're not ready for. They can't handle financially, emotionally, even physically. And their education is derailed, and it takes some of them years or even decades to get back on track. So I'm urging you, children, you are a student and you should take that job seriously. Take the perks. This job comes with so many perks. I don't think you'll ever have another job in your life that has all these benefits, all these perks. Your way is paved. You have all these things provided for you. And as the passage says, flexi time. You know, in some jobs, the employees are, you know, trying to negotiate to get flexi time, which means, you know, you get a certain time to do the other things you need to do and still maintain your job. Now, as a student, you go to school for a certain number of hours, and then you have the rest of the day to just relax, to have recreation. Plus, you're getting paid. All right? So, just take advantage of that opportunity. Take advantage of this opportunity that you have been given. You'll never get a sweeter deal again. You'll never get a sweeter employment package again in your life than the one you have now as a student, with all your needs met, a strong support system, plus you're getting paid. When you get your lunch money and your allowance, you're getting paid. Aren't you getting paid? Plus you get lunch. You don't have to buy lunch out of your pocket. Right? You have snacks, you have the fridge open to you, you have all the support system. So take advantage of it, because many adults, when they get to adulthood, that's when they realize that they took this opportunity for granted. They took it for granted when they could have just focused on their studies. They found a million other things to do to be distracted. And now when they're adults, when they should be, you know, in their careers and then having time to go travel and to see, you know, to see the world, to see the sights, to enjoy life and spend time with their families, now they have to be juggling work and family and education, which is not an easy task. It is not easy. So don't fall into that trap. Learn from the experience of others and avoid falling into those pitfalls. Okay? If you have not subscribed to the Kemet Maasai Academy, please do so now. And I'll see you in the next videos.